Look, we have been speaking about this very topic for so many transfer windows, haven't we? It has been a primary focus for Arsenal to bring in a striker in this transfer window. They have explored the conditions of a deal for a number of players, most notably RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko. But when you look at those two players, they're different profiles and different ages, aren't they? Viktor Gyokeres, you could argue more of the finished article. Does Benjamin Sesko perhaps have the higher ceiling? But what we're hearing now is that the focus seems to be edging towards Viktor Gyokeres as opposed to Sesko.
It felt like they had two names on their list. Now, there probably would have been 5 or 6. Arsenal do a lot of due diligence. They like to scour the market and they know that they have to sign top quality. But it always felt like from the start of this window, they had 2 players in mind for that number 9 position. Like you say, Benjamin Sesko, someone that's been in the RB group for a number of seasons and has been watched at times by Real Madrid. You know, he's been on the radar of a number of the big European clubs as they look to strengthen through the middle. It's probably safe to say his development and trajectory hasn't been as progressive as a lot of the clubs expected, but he's still a talented player. But he's 22 years old and probably not quite Premier League ready just yet. But like you rightly say, probably will be in time. Whereas Viktor Gyokeres absolutely is Premier League ready in my mind. He's like an oven-ready product. He's just scored 97 goals in 102 appearances. I think the biggest thing that he'll bring that perhaps other players won't is the physicality. He understands the Premier League. He understands English football. I first came across him when he was a young player at Brighton. Didn't play a great deal of first-team matches. Was given his debut by Chris Hughton, but then went out on loan. And it was where he was on loan at Coventry where he really excelled. And under Mark Robins, developed into that ruthless centre-forward, someone that could do everything you'd want from a number 9. And not only score and finish, but he could create his own goals as well. He'd drop into little pockets of space. He'd come into his own half at times, but he'd be prepared to get out wide. He'd be prepared to do the dirty work. And then he had the ability to finish with ease and not just simple finishes. You know, he'd stick it in the bottom corner, he'd stick it in the top corner. He was good aerially. He had everything. And this is where I think this potential deal certainly feels like it could be the right one and the one that Arsenal fans are crying out for.
Oven ready, I like that. It looks like Arsenal are cooking.
I sound like Boris Johnson, don't I? I don't know if that's a good thing.
Not quite sure how to follow that one. But listen, we've heard the fans, we've seen social media. Now, how much attention you should pay to social media, I don't know. But it has been the theme. The fans have been baying and asking and demanding that Arsenal sign a striker. The fact that Arsenal have taken their time over the past few windows and done due diligence over a number of transfer windows, including in January when they were looking at both Sesko and Gyokeres, and in this transfer window with both of those players as well. Does that kind of highlight how absolutely vital it is that Arsenal get this right and the importance of this decision with, in particular, this position?
It's probably the most difficult position to recruit for. And you speak to sporting directors up and down the country, across Europe and in the Premier League, and what's the one thing they say that is the difficult thing to find?
Number 9.
Number 9. And it's also the most expensive as well. So you have to get it right. If you're spending 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 million in Harry Kane's case on that number 9, he has to be able to come into the club and develop almost straight away and have an impact on that first team. This is the most challenging position to recruit for. And for a team like Arsenal, you're not trying to find a striker that will get you 15 goals and get you in the top 4. You're trying to find a striker that will get you 25 plus goals and someone that will spearhead you to the Premier League title, spearhead you to the Champions League, go and win domestic cups as well. You have got to be the full package, the whole package and nothing less. It's quite interesting, something you mentioned there. It feels like this is a slight deviation from Arsenal's transfer policy maybe of a few years ago. You go back to the summer of 21-22, where they were signing players like Ben White, like Aaron Ramsdale, Martin Odegaard. The average age of the players they were signing during that particular summer was 22 years old. Suddenly, Andrea Berta comes into the football club with his experience in La Liga, new relationship with Mikel Arteta, and in his final 2 seasons at Atletico, the average age of the players he was signing was 26 and 27. And when you start to look at what Arsenal are doing, Kepa at 30,